Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing?
Welcome to Insights. I'm Eric. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, we can teach yourself some patience, teach yourself how to watch the invisible hand, and to learn in a way that is not something that we normally do through following the majority of investors out there. So, let's take a moment and take a look at coffee. Coffee has been flowing through the evolution of the trade in a manner that's consistent with the three time frames. For a while, we were in triple up. First, we had an energy build, and then we had a monthly trend flip that went up. It's been a while now. It's been up for 7 months, and it's produced a 19% return. The composite trend was also in a triple alignment for a while, but that's fallen out of alignment. The daily trend has fallen down. It fell down on 615, and it's been down for 9 days. And none of the price or time cycles are extended. So what we're looking at here is likely continuation of the consolidation for a while here. It is possible that we will flip back up relatively quickly too, because the weekly trend, which we can see described right here, is not really extended in terms of price or time either. Price is barely the price cycle is barely above its mean. The time cycle is red, but it's not bolded yet, so I've seen much higher numbers, so it could get worse than this. Another one of the possibilities is the downtrend, which is a form of consolidation when the three time frames are no longer in alignment. The consolidation continues. It's currently down, and it goes down in the weekly too. So it flips this from up to down too. So would be a deepening of the consolidation. The consolidation right now is limited to the daily, but it can get extended further. To know where we're headed, we probably have to study energy, so we want to take a look at that now. Energy is located in these columns here. How this all fits into the evolution of the trade, you probably want to click the link or click the links below the video and read up on the evolution of the trade so you can understand the conversation that's taking place here. But we have energy, and energy is looking fairly sizable in terms of where it was. I mean, it was very negative. It was minus 60, and DI2 was very low. And we'll look at those charts graphically. If you want to click this link here, you can pull up the videos that are going to, or the pull up the charts that are going to come up in a moment. I'm going to click them here. And if you want some more help on this, click any of these help links inside of your own version of the matrix, and you can learn about what all the names in the columns mean, and specifically how it applies to the evolution of the trade from a component part. And I would study this in particular and click these links and read the videos, or watch the videos and read the text there as well, so that you can understand the four phases. So when we head on to the tab here, when we look at some of the specific charts, we can see that Joe is inside this consolidation. Joe is the ETN for the coffee for the continuous contract that trades on the, I think it trades on the Amex. So we're likely going to see some type of action here if this continues. We've broken in a consolidation, but now we're moving back up. So I would assume the computer is going to flag this pretty quickly, and we have to. And when it does, I'll review this specifically, maybe a short one for subscribers, and we'll talk about what's taking place. But the longer this continues up and the longer this moves, the more we're going to keep an eye on the daily, the more likely the daily is going to flip, and we're going to create another green box. All we have to do to get a green box is to get this red line above the zero. That will likely happen in a couple of days, sometime this week. So if this stabilizes and continues upward, we're going to get some type of realignment this week. And there's no guarantee. We'll just have to watch it. Keep an eye on the matrix. Keep an eye on coffee. I know coffee's not an interesting market. It's not the trader's market. It's not something that's hot. But coffee's been pretty steady, and it probably continue to do that. And if we have more continuation of the uptrend, we're going to have a large breakout, jumping the creek as we call it here, and it's going to have much higher prices to come if that's what we can do, and that's what's coffee's going to show us in the setup. We still don't know that. What we are watching as well as price is energy, and energy is coming off the mat. Energy has been or had shown a couple bearish readings down here, and you can see them by the thin highlights. Created a blocking dome, which then curled price over, but now we're starting to peak above that blocking dome. Energy is starting to move higher. It's not significantly higher, and it's not above the zero line, and it's not statistically significant above the threshold of 60%, which is way up above this line. So there's not much to act upon. If we do get a triple alignment again, if this continues up and we have a realignment here that gets signified in the name column, you'll see triple with an up arrow, and that will signify a realignment of 3 time frames. We're not going to have a lot of energy there to power it. I mean, it's not like we have zero energy. Right now there's a bearish bias. There'll be some. How do I say what does some look like if we continue to break out and jump the creek? We're at a high enough level that this will peel back down and enter or towards the minus 60 bearish threshold. So at this level, if you want to look at it at a gas gauge, there's some energy here that this can fall off and go lower, but it's not as high as if it was up here. That would really power a next move up and through to an air pocket, maybe possibly through the air pocket. We'll talk about that in a second. Here's that conversation right now. The reversals, if we look at the reversal points, and they're inside the reversal tab. If we select coffee, we can select Joe. We can come down right here and we can see the daily, weekly, and monthly gaps. They're way more than simple gaps. The computer studies supply-demand zone, creates synthetic gaps, which define those zones from various time frames. The daily is very noisy. I tend not to focus on it unless I was a day trader, but I'm really not, or a very short-term trader. I focus on the weekly and monthly that are right here, and I look for and I study where those gaps lie. There's other past videos in which I show up how I bring up a chart like this, and then I pull over these numbers and I create them and I draw the synthetic lines in to give me an idea. Here's another way of the computer doing it very quickly. This is on the weekly level. We can see prices roughly around here. Anything where prices above the green line or above these supply demand zones, it highlights them green for different coloring. If it's below it, it's gonna color them red. So we can see there's a lot of support underneath coffee, a lot of and there's a firm foundation of which this should create some type of cause building action and turn higher. How long that's going to take is probably more than a couple days, a couple weeks, probably maybe even a month. But we could theoretically jump up and push through these higher bands. It's a lower probability outcome because the energy is not as strong, but it is possible. If we can get above these two right here, you're going to hit an air pocket of which price is going to accelerate pretty quickly and probably make a run for this third line up here. For that to happen, you're going to more likely see energy fall into the lower range. So it doesn't necessarily have to go from here up to here. It can go here and abort and then turn lower again. It's done that. We can see numerous examples of that in the past, where it's come down and it's low, makes a run for the higher bullish threshold, fails, and then rolls over to a lower bearish threshold. If you get into that and you get up into these areas and we're way down here, it's most likely a great opportunity to take profits. Where is that going to come? Again, look at the reversal tab. And since this one's an open content, and I'm not going to discuss a lot of the strategy open for there. Subscribers should take a look at it. You can read the reversal zones as well as I. It gives you an idea of where this will go, where the air pocket lies, and I would if it does do that, we'll talk about it again, but coffee is one of the more interesting plays inside the matrix for that reason. So keep an idea where these zones lie. I'm not going to disclose them right now. If this generates a reset, which will be noted here as an R, and it will be highlighted yellow, and you're going to get a whole bunch of different nomenclature that's going to pop up when it does that. I mean, you can click these links right here and watch the videos if you're interested in what they all mean. Again, it's the composite name, composite trend, the cycle, whether it's early, mid, or late. This is the mechanics for when it hits the zero, and then so here's the X bar, and then this is the standard deviation, which just shows you, or sigma, which gives you an idea of whether the composite trend is compressed or it's expanding. These all have meaning, but since there's nothing here, there's really nothing to talk about. But when this shows a red or shows an R, this is going to go yellow. That's going to be a reset within the evolution of the trade. It's phase 3. Whether it's going to be a viable reset or how strong of a reset in order to play it really depends on the energy build. Energy build would have to be stronger than this in order for it to be a super aggressive one. It means that there's usually more than one reset in a trend. Some might pass on that reset. Some might say, I'm going to take it and have a short leash on it, even because I know there's not a lot of energy. Those are choices that every individual makes, but the whole point is to read energy, read the composite trend, and decide whether or not you want to be in. If you're trading coffee right now, you have a core position for 7 months, and you're still in it even right now. Even though we're in consolidation, you're in that core position. And when it resets, you're going to have to make a decision of whether or not you want to escalate and add to that core position. And that's really the investment and trading discipline of the evolution of the trade. It keeps you positioned in markets. How long can coffee stay up? Well, you go into the lead M tab, and this is the study of the primary trends. Here's coffee, and we've looked at this before, the current impulse. Oh, that's copper. This is coffee. Is 19%. It's made it as high as 23. We've had struggled, and we were down as much as -4, but the flip stayed in place, and the primary trend is holding. It averages 8 months, and here's all the statistics. So it can go up a lot more than the current 19 and 23% high, and that's something that the buy and hold strategy is going to maintain. We ain't going to hold this one forever. When the primary trend either gets old or it flips down, you're going to sell your coffee position and find something else, because as much as I like coffee, about 7 and 8 9 months ago when we were talking about it and nobody was listening, I'm going to dislike it when it gets old. There'll be something else to invest in, and I can't tell you what it's going to be. But some people think it's going to be things like natural gas. But again, that's just a matter of playing it by the evolution of the trade. We don't we don't we don't invest based on assumptions. We just wait for it to set up, and when it flips and goes and has the energy build, you put your core position in, and then you ride that, and then you follow the consolidations within the 3 time frames, and you play the whole conversation that we have here about coffee over with some other market. And so we talk about natural gas for 6 to 12 months or whatever it is, and then that'll get old, and it'll either be unprofitable, which happens every once in a while, or it'll be profitable. Most of them trades are profitable. Here's the primary trends with inside the matrix. There's 40 of them that are up and produce winners. 2 of them are losers. The average return is 45%. The average of the top 5 is 40%. Top 5 average is 155%. The average in general is 40. I think the average of the winners are 45%. So it is difficult to beat this by your instincts and intuition. The computer is significantly better than anything that I have to say. So don't listen to me unless I'm quoting the Matrix, and most people who subscribe to the Matrix are following it for that reason. The trick for them is to teach themselves patience in order to stay with these trends, to get these returns, and to take money off the table when you see cycle extension across the board or anywhere inside. and then exit the trend when the primary trend either gets old or starts to flip down. And we'll know that because it'll be highlighted red, it'll be labeled PTD 1 or 2, or we'll see some type of other extension in order to get us out. So that's really the setup with coffee. It's a conversation that's been taking place for months. I suspect we're going to see something this week, so keep an eye on it. If you're subscribing and watching The Matrix, you don't have to go crazy. I try and find something else to do when I'm trading, and because The Matrix is something that you pop in either daily or every other day or once a week. Even if you miss the original signal by a few days, it doesn't take away the performance unless it blows the barn doors off from day one. Sometimes it does that, and you kick yourself in the pants because you didn't catch it right away. But in general, even if you have a strong move within a day or two, there's even more upside or downside in a trading position than we expect, and you still can get something out of it. So if you have any questions, let me know. There's some links below. Contact me there. You can find me at the blog. You can leave some comments below the video, but there doesn't seem to be too much participation within that. I would subscribe to this channel if you're watching on. There's a lot of information here. And again, this is not something we're teaching you how to watch, be patient, and learn. And it's far more than the simple canned TA that's being introduced to new investors and older investors and everyone out there that's out there on the internet. The only reason why we do this here at Insights is because I got tired of watching garbage that's being spun on the internet. And I said, well, we're going to have to teach myself how to code, and we're going to put this stuff up, and we're going to give it a chance to see if everyone else wants to see the things that I've been watching for years. So thanks for joining us today. And if not, if I don't talk to you again, good luck. And if not, keep an eye on coffee, because I don't think luck is going to be necessary. Coffee's doing quite well on its own, and it's going to probably open up a lot more eyeballs. And we're going to have you're going to have a conversation with Starbucks talking about it real soon, and it's probably going to get on Bloomberg and all these other places real quickly, because I think we're not done here. So thanks for watching.